How's it going, folks? I'm Des with DesFit, and this is the long-awaited ForeRunner 945 from Garmin. So Garmin actually introduced three brand new ForeRunner models today. The entry-level ForeRunner 45, and then the next step up being the ForeRunner 245, as well as 245 Music. And then rounding things out is going to be top-of-the-line 945, which we'll be talking about today in this video, but I also do have videos about both of these as well in the description below. So it's been a while since they released the quite popular 935, but they used that time to add a lot of new features like music storage and playback, as well as contactless payments for the smartwatch stuff. And then there's going to be new performance features like training load focus, a pulse ox sensor, heat and altitude acclimation, as well as safety features like get assistance and incident detection. But they also added maps. I've had the 945 for about 5 days now, and I have already been testing it, but I like to test things pretty thoroughly, so it'll probably be about 10 to 14 days before I have a full review out. So make sure to subscribe to get a notification when that video comes out. But in today's video, I'll be talking about all the new features with the 945. So if you like the video, go ahead and hit that like button down below. It's a small little thing that you can do that helps the channel out a lot, and I appreciate it. So let's talk about the 945. So first off, it looks nearly exactly the same as the 935, but the biggest difference you'll see is on the back, where it has a reconfigured heart rate sensor that now includes the pulse ox sensor that can measure your blood oxygen saturation levels. It's still going to offer that really good battery life, which I think was probably one of the main reasons the 935 was so popular, with an advertised battery life of up to 2 weeks in smartwatch mode, up to 36 hours in GPS mode, and then 10 hours if you're playing music in GPS mode. However, it does also have Ultra Track mode to get you even more battery life. And I'll go over the smartwatch features really quick, but it does now also have music storage and playback with the ability to sync up to 1,000 songs using music services like Spotify and Deezer, and does also have contactless payments using Garmin Pay. Alright, so now on to the performance features. So if we take a look at the training status widget, this should look pretty familiar, but if we dive in, there's going to be a lot of new stuff in here. First, we see two familiar items being your VO2 max, and then below that we see your 7-day training load. But this next screen is something new. So you may have already seen this in my Edge 530 and 830 videos, but this is your training load focus, which shows you your training balance across different intensity levels, as well as where it thinks you should be in those zones. Next up is recovery time, which should look familiar again, but this next screen down is again something new that was found in the Edge units, and that's going to be altitude acclimation. This shows you how well you're adapting to changes in altitude. I live at an elevation of about 5,000 feet, but I train in the mountains usually for mountain biking, which is usually above like 5,500 or so. So that's going to be reflected in that figure right there. The next screen is going to be something new as well, and that's going to be heat acclimation, which shows you how well you're reacting to changes in temperature above 71 degrees Fahrenheit. You will have to pair your device to Garmin Connect Mobile though within 3 hours of starting an activity, since it does utilize the weather stations for this function to work. So that's everything new in the training status widget, but there's also going to be a new screen below that for your current health stats, including your heart rate, stress level, as well as your body battery. And then here's the new SpO2 widget that shows your blood oxygen saturation levels over the last 24 hours. And I really like all those new performance features, but what I think is really great about the 945 is that now it includes maps, which until now has only been available on the Fenix 5X as well as Fenix 5 Plus series of watches, and I think this is going to make the 945 probably even more popular than the 935. And then there's another new feature which I think is kind of a blend of both performance as well as navigation, which is going to be called Climb Pro, which shows your upcoming climbs so you can get a gauge on how much effort to either give or hold back to make sure that you don't blow up on a climb, or put in more effort if there isn't much of a climb remaining. The 945 still offers dozens of sport profiles, including open water swimming, a triathlon mode, snow sports like skiing and snowboarding, water sports like stand-up paddleboarding and kayaking, as well as rowing, golf, navigation functions, and then some gym profiles as well. And then there's going to be the new safety and tracking features, the first of which is called Instant Detection, which is designed to detect an impact and then automatically send your location and information to emergency contacts. But you can also do this manually with Get Assistance, which you can enable by holding the upper left-hand key for about 5 seconds until you feel 3 vibrations. And it does pair to pretty much every sensor you can imagine, including power meters, Shimano Di2 electronic shifting, Varia lights and radar, extended display which mirrors the data that's being collected on your watch on a compatible Garmin Edge cycling computer, as well as support for in-reach satellite communication devices. So there's a lot of new stuff with the 945, and with the addition of maps, it pretty much is a lightweight Fenix at this point. But funny enough, this is actually one of Garmin's most full-featured wearables because it has heat and altitude acclimation, Climb Pro, training load focus, instant detection, that Pulse OX sensor, as well as music storage and contactless payments. However, with all those new features comes in addition to the price tag as well, with the 945 coming in at $599. And I'm not saying the price is unjustified by any means, because it does have a lot more features than the 935, but it is getting higher. Anyhow, I'll have a full review out in a couple weeks, and if this video did help you out at all, hit that like button down below, and also subscribe to the channel for plenty of sports and fitness technology reviews that are coming soon. Thanks for watching.